Across America, there are countless museums and places to visit, and what we've done is bring together some of our favourites which really stand out, and not just the big ones, but also the smaller ones in the towns and cities which you'll be passing through.
I really enjoyed the sixth floor museum at Dealey Plaza in Dallas. It's a real insight into that time capsule of history and JFK's assassination. You're on the sixth floor, you're where the shots were fired, and it's been preserved so you can see the sniper's view and that really iconic view over Dealey Plaza, and it's quite a moving place to be. The museum is best visited early on in the day if you can. It's really popular with school visits, so it can get quite busy, and it's quite a small museum inside. And also, if you can check to see if they have any of their living history talks going on, they're often given by people who were there on the day. They're really unique insights, and they're just $5 to add to the ticket.
The San Francisco Academy of Sciences in Golden Gate Park is a real highlight for me. It's a beautiful building set within a beautiful park to start with. As you get there, it's a modern, sustainable design building. It's one of the largest natural history museums in the world, renovated in 2008. You've got the planetarium, you've got which have sort of shows on in the evening, you've got the rainforests, which have a plethora of sort of different plants and wildlife in there already that really come alive when you're inside. And then you've got the aquarium, which is just so much fun. I'd advise going in the afternoon. You probably spend about 3.5 hours there, but if you go in the afternoon, generally you're going to avoid the bigger groups and the bigger crowds and have a bit more space to make the most of everything there.
The Smithsonian's are 19 different museums, so there's plenty to see and do there. What's great about them is that you can dip in and out and spend an hour there, spend all day there. And from visiting, you can see the museum, which is a paid-for museum, which is obviously different from the Smithsonian's because the Smithsonian's are free, is fantastic because it tells the story of the United States through some of the artifacts that you'll see around the Smithsonian's. One part of the trip that I recently had to the museum was the exhibit on 9/11 there, and they have an artifact which is the antenna from the top of one of the World Trade Center buildings which was destroyed during 9/11, and there's a really interesting piece there, an exhibit about how that antenna broadcasts news and how since 9/11 news has changed completely.
So the Johnny Cash Museum in Nashville, Tennessee, it's certainly one of my favourite little museums in the US, dedicated to a music icon who I'm a big fan of. He's in both the Country Music and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is some achievement. But it's a fascinating small museum. There's a wide array of artefacts from his life and career, which span many decades, and it's really his longevity that makes him one of the great American musical icons. So there's things like gold records, some wonderful personal memorabilia. My personal favourite element is the handwritten lyrics to Folsom Prison Blues, one of his classic songs that he memorably recorded in Folsom Prison itself. So to see that was really a highlight for me.
The part of the experience of going to the Chicago Field Museum that sticks in my mind is definitely the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton they have. They lovingly call it Sue. It's the most complete T-Rex skeleton of anywhere in the world. It was found 90% complete, and they have it in full display in the centre of their museum. 13 foot tall, you can stand right underneath the skeleton, get a real sense for its size, for the size of the teeth and the number. It's definitely worth getting a picture right in front of the skeleton. It's absolutely one of the highlights of a trip to the museum.